Hello, everyone. Welcome to your demo of the Labs app. Where is that here? Labs. We're going to be looking over this today. This is our kind of solution to being able to track your brand being mentioned in large language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Anthropic, all the good stuff. And we track on 6 of the LLMs. I'll show you that as we get through the demo here. But yeah, let's get started. So once you're logged into your dashboard, you'll see on the left-hand side there is a option for labs. Click that, and that will bring you into the tool. So I'm going to show you how, if you were to add a new company. So we're going to just find a new business. For this example, I'm going to look for a random business in Texas. Let's just say plumbing, Texas. All right. I'm going to use Texas Master. Could use these guys. All right, so you put in your business name, Seguin Plumber Master. I'm going to just pick that one. I don't think that was the actual. But for the sake of the demo, I will just use that one. You can do other tricks that you can do to help, if you search it, is putting a part of the address and it will pop up. But you type it in, you find it, you click it, double check the URL. Looks good. We're going to go now continue. So competitor businesses, if you know of some, it's kind of just a good idea to track them. So let's just take a peek at here and find some with maybe some unique names. Blue Diamond Plumbing of Texas. I like that. Plumber near you. Talk about trying to rank. So we're going to throw in this competitor. Wicked, and we'll stay on that one for now. Hit continue. All right, so it's going to give you some keywords that you might want to put in just from our our keyword agent tech. Say, hey, you probably want to track these. You can also put in your custom keywords here, and then add them to the list and kind of create your profile off the cuff. I'm just going to select all of these, and then for example, if you had a custom one, it could be emergency. Agency Plumber, Texas. Cool. I guess I should put that big. All right, so I'm going to add that. So then once that's done, you're going to go create the profile. So cool thing I'll tell you about the tracker is that you can add as many businesses that you want. It doesn't charge you by how many businesses you track in labs. It's just by how many your credits and based off the scans, and we'll kind of walk through that. So here's the first dashboard once you add an account. You'll tell what account you're on, obviously, from the option up here, and you see a list of all the stuff that we can track. So AI mode, AI overview, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, ChatGPT. Let's start by setting up our first scan. So from the dashboard menu, and you got your menu up here as well on the left, you can go down and click manage. And the manage part is where all the keywords that you're actively tracking are stored. You can pause them so that it won't run a report. You can play them so it starts running reports. You can remove them by clicking the X. And so that's this. Obviously there's some sort of categorization you can do there, but we're not going to touch that. Import CFS, also CSV, also very handy. So this is where this gets tracked. If I were to, again, want to add a category, I could do that, connect to silos or maybe GMBs if I'm tracking certain keywords, certain ones. That's what you do on this menu. The settings menu, again, is just kind of where you would manage the connection of that company. History, this will be all the brand reports. You'll see some of those as an example. Analytics is going to be what you're seeing. So next thing we need to do is actually run a report. So you'll see at the top there's a run scan or a run your first scan right here. Click one of those buttons and you will have this menu pop up. We're going to track on all of them just so you can see the magic. And we can also track with the competitor ones. I won't do that for this demo, but that option is there if you want to do it. It does. You'll see that this gives you some competitor data built in with it. All right, cool. So we're going to run the scan. Now, with how many keywords we have, and how many we're scanning, it would cost 36 credits. So let's just see what understand the cost. Like if I took out one of these, I'm down 6 because there's 6 keywords we're tracking. But we're going to do them all. And I'm going to hit run scan. So at this point, it's going and checking the LLMs for your brand mention for those select keywords. The idea is that by doing this, like if you use ChatGPT and you ask it stuff, there's a lot of personalization that gets built out due to that. And so if you're always talking about a certain company or you're having affiliation, if you do this searches through your own like account, there's a possibility that the response you're getting is super personalized, meaning the results might not be what the world or the rest of the globe is seeing. It's a benefit to a language model tracker such as this, is that it tracks the site mentions and fresh scenarios, so that you kind of know if that's the overall answer that's giving out. Anyhow, so while this is processing, you see that it's at 18. You can see on the bottom we got a lot of dots happening. So keywords, this will go away when it's done, but you can see in the background stuff's gonna happening. We got our notifications down in the bottom corner. Oh look, no brand, tons of examples. Wicked. Almost done. Cool. Wicked. All right. So here we have our first run of keywords done, 36 credits later. It's kind of dope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all fit here, which is nice and convenient. And you get out kind of like from a bird's eye view what you passed on and what you failed on. And so this guy, over all of this, shows up 25% of the time. So we would say that's invisible, can't be found, when all the other ones are recommending other stuff. Now there's his brand, like Seguin Master Plumber Reviews, doesn't even look like that one prompts, which, that we would say is maybe a branding issue. And we would look at the keyword options. He wins on some, like Gemini, that's pretty good. Not on the others, so definitely some work to be done. So what do you do from here? Well, first off, if you need to be checking these regularly because you want to see if you're actually gaining traction, you can schedule them. It brings you to manage the schedule tab. You turn it on and you just select how often you want it to run. Select which guys to run. If you want it to include competitors, save the schedule. It will do that for you automatically. Outside of that, if you you can see now here on the analytics, got some data points. Obviously, as time goes on, you run more, it gets better and better. But if we look at the one that we're running, we want more details, we're going to select one. So I want to select one where we have some wins and some losses. Best Plumbing Services, Seguin. Cool. We're going to do that. So each one of these is a scan on a LLM like Perplexity, Gemini for that particular keyword. Here's what's cool about how this works. If you don't show up, this tool will diagnose and tell you what the reason is for that. So we're going to start off with AI mode. Understanding that for each one of these LLMs, the tactics will kind of vary slightly. All right, cool. So right now here we have a diagnosis. Now diagnosis costs 1 credit, but it's totally worth it because it tells you what you need to do. So look at that. Who ranks highly rated locally owned plumbing companies? So there are some names of ones that are actually ranking. 5J Plumbing, cool. Long established brands. So these guys are showing because they have years of experience. Hundreds of positive reviews, cool. Companies specializing in niche services, tank heaters, okay, cool. So getting down and dirty. So meaning that they built out lots of pages to show they do that individual service. And multi-service franchise brands, okay, cool. So that's important because when you have a company that maybe has lots of locations, lots of brand recognition, brand is something that takes to kind of work up to build. So that's, takes time to get there. So cool. So why they rank? High volume of positive reviews. That's super great. Most have over 100, many under 500 for when I Wicked. So there's like a mark that you'd have to hit. I haven't looked at these guys. Let's see what they have. 31. Interesting. And look at some of these. 39,241. Okay, cool. So longevity makes sense. And consistent present in local directories and review sites, Google, Angie says home advisors. They have multiple directories. I would make sure that obviously you get in these directories, but all right. So reason 2. Reason why these guys might be missing. Weak or no Google business profile. Well, they have a Google business profile, but it probably is weak. We won't talk about what cost to rank in that, but just there's a diagnosis. I'll talk about what to do in the next step. So fewer or no Google reviews, so you have to get more. Lack of listing on key directories. So look, here are some examples of the ones you want to get listings on and possible reviews if they have them. And then poor local SEO, which means you need to build that out. And that's depending where you're at, that can be a big conversation. Those are the things that are wrong in terms of you could go to the internet, you can figure it out, you can reach out to our support. That's where you're not showing up. And then it gives the actionable steps. So claim and optimize your Google business profile. You might already have it. So in this case, make sure that it's all accurate, and your reviews have some sort of cadence to them. Generate and respond to reviews. Yeah, focus these core initial reviews and past customers. Cool. So that looks like it's saying you definitely need to make some wicked and list on key directories. So get on these guys' lists and get some people reviewing you. Yelp definitely does reviews, so you want reviews on Yelp, and it's kind of hard to fake them on there, so you gotta get real ones. And then cool. And so do these things here really well, and chances are you start showing up a little bit. Now it puts in 3 simple temps. The truth of the matter is that there's probably a bit of work that has to be going depending on how big the delta is between where you're at and where you have to go. But it tells you right in there for those reasons. And so if you're talking to clients or customers, or for your own business, you're trying to make clarity of why you're not showing up, where to put efforts, this tells you. So that's pretty dope. Let's look at another guy. So it shows up on Gemini. So if I go view details on that, it's 100% confidence. It's a positive sentiment. Based on here's the actual evidence snippet, and here's the write-up. Based on my search, here are some of the top plumbing servers in Seguin, Texas. And yes, Seguin Plumbing Masters appears in the search results. So when we go look at the full response, they gave a list. Here's them. Cool. Along with those other guys that kind of showed up. So they came up in the short list. That's wicked. And so that here is pretty much the biggest functions of the labs tracker. You can add and remove keywords, check out history, pull up the report cards, and then find out what you need to do to kind of work on that. Here's an interesting one. You see how this says, AI overviews, but no ranking, but no diagnosis. Include, did it already run one? Let's take a peek at this. Brand not found the actual searches. Oh, I see. It's because yeah. Look at that. Wasn't found. Top rated plumbing team in Texas. Interesting. Sometimes when it shows that, it's because there's actually no AI overview that pops up, but it will tell you in that if that's the case. So, all right. So, last little couple things to make sure again that I'll show you. You can manage your keywords here if you want to add more as less as time goes on. In all honesty, one of the probably coolest things that I like about this is just the ability to kind of get this bird's eye view and take a look at how you're running over time. It just kind of really clearly explains it to you. You can add more businesses if you need to. You can look at the analytics. You can even export a PDF. So if I want to export on this in the last 7 days, and it includes your business profile details, global health score, everything that you see here. Let's just hit a preview button. So you can see here, it'll tell you there's the categories that are active. There's the global health, visible share. These are the engines that you're doing best on. It also shows you the keyword performance, which ones are most visible across all the platforms. A good, very bird's eye view. And again, the more you add to it, the more you categorize, the better it gets. So, and then you can export that, send it away. But yeah, wicked. And then I will show you. Yeah, I haven't talked about this. My bad. This will tell you kind of how much revenue you're missing out based on the keywords that you're not showing for. It's very much a statistical calculation. It won't say exactly you're going to make this much more, but the point is, it will tell you if you're missing or leaving money on the table. And so in this case, based on the industry average gap, add competitors for price measurements, 6 keywords using near me estimate. So at $9 of what people are paying cost per click, about 7,200 searches a month in that area, 30% visibility gap. Yeah, especially for the emergency plumber. So there's just like the value breakdown. And again, this tech is kind of synced up with Keyword Agent, where it's the engine that's playing that between them. And if you haven't checked out that demo, definitely check it out. But yeah. So guys, this is Labs. I hope that makes sense. Any questions, feel free to email us at support@bfeai.com. It's great showing you this, and I'm excited to hopefully get you on the app and getting you found in LLM. So we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching.